Hello guys, welcome back to Coding Cafe. My name is Mohammed Ali, and in this video tutorial we are going to retrieve all the chat requests here on our request fragment using the Firebase Recycler adapter latest and new version with the Recyclerview. So as you know that in the previous video tutorial we have created this request fragment, which is basically our this fragment, and then we add a recycler view here on our .xml file of the fragment request, and then we define that recycler view and initialize that here in our own request view. Okay, you can see that now. Also, as you know that we have had two buttons here. The first one is for the request accept button and request cancel button. I mean, this is our user display layout which we created in the previous video tutorials. Okay, so for now the visibility will be invisible for both of these buttons. Okay, as I told you in the previous tutorial. So we will retrieve the data in this, in this shape on our request fragment with the accept and cancel chat request button. So what I'm going to do is, as you know that this is our request fragment, so here we need to create onStart method. So inside this method we can say onStart, and outside this onCreate view. Okay, we have created this onStart method, and here now inside this we can create the Firebase recycler option, which is basically here we basically define the query to our database. So it needs one parameter, and that is our model class, which is contacts. And if I show you the context class, then this is our context class, which are basically which will access the name, status and image which are in our database. Okay, the key values, okay, which are in our database. I hope you know that. Then an empty constructor, it contain and constructor, a parameter, and setter and getter for all these three fields. So now it needs this one parameter, which is contacts, which is our model class, and after that we can give it a name options equals to new Firebase Recycler options dot builder. And here we need to pass the contacts, which is our model class, and after that we can say dot set query, and here we need to pass the query, but first let's complete this, and after that we can say dot build and put a semicolon here. Now here we need to pass the query to our database to where we want. So we are we will be querying our this chat request fragment, which contain all the requests for a specific user. That is, let's say if this is my unique user ID, if this is my account, then I have received 1 2 3 4 5. So I have 5 requests from other user. Okay, so first we need to create a reference, or you can say a query to our this chat request. So for that, what I'm going to do here above, I can simply say private database reference, and we can give it a name as chat requests ref. And now here in the onCreate view, after that we can say chat request ref Firebase database dot get reference dot child, and we know that the child name is chat request. And if I show you, then this is chat requests. Okay, so yeah, this is the name of the child. So this is our query, initial query. Later on now we will add further things to it. So here we can pass that chat request ref comma, and the second parameter it needs is the contacts model class dot class. So this chat request is up to the node chat request, which is basically the parent node for all the requests, which is this one. Okay, but what we are going to do is, as I told you, that is, let's say this is my ID, Muhammad Ali account, and this is my unique user ID. So we have to get the current user ID, that is the user who is online, or you can say who is logged in into his account. So we will get that ID, and for that ID we will display all the requests, okay, for this user. That is, this user has 5 chat requests. That is, let's say 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so let's do that. First we have to get the current user ID. So here we can say private Firebase auth. Let's give it name to it as mauth, and then here we can say mauth equals to Firebase auth dot get instance. And now we need to create a variable by the name, it will be string data type, so we can say string, and let's give it a name as current user ID. And here we can get the ID of the current user by using the mauth user.getUID. So yeah, that's it. And now we can reference to that user. So here you can see we have this chat request ref. After that we can say .child and pass that current user ID to it. So our query is set to the current user ID. Now whatever the user is, that is, let's say if this user gets online, then it will get that node, and then this user contain 1 2 3 4 5 6 requests. Okay, so our query is set to that. Now the next thing is to use the Firebase Recycler adapter and start our work. Okay, so I mean to retrieve the data. So here we can say Firebase Recycler adapter. It's need two parameters, as you know that. The first one, first put these two angle braces, and here we can pass the contacts model class. Okay, and the second one it's need is the static class, which we will create just now. Okay, so here I can simply say public static class. Let's give it a name as request view holder, and it should extend the Recyclerview holder, and this is our static class. Here we will basically access our user display layout, which is our this layout. So here it needs a constructor. So here you can simply click and then click on generate. Okay, and also you can click in this error. Okay, as you know that it shows an error. If you click on this red bull, then here also it gives you this option, which is create constructor. Click on that and this constructor will be created. And after that, what we're gonna do is first to access all these fields, okay, which are these fields. So here I can simply say first we have a text view to display the username, and we have another text view which is the user's profile status. Then we have a circle image view for displaying the profile image, so we can give it a name as profile image. Then we have two buttons. The first one is the accept button and the second one is the cancel button. Now this is just the definition, and now here we have to initialize these fields, or you can say cost these fields here. So we can say username equal, and by using this view object, which is item view, we can access that. So we can say item dot find view by id, or dot id dot all users. First let me check the id of each field. So for the profile we have user profile image, user profile name, and these are the IDs of this. So we can say for the name we have ID user profile name, and let's copy paste this for the user status. So copy this and paste that here, and make sure to change this to user status, and the ID for this is user status. Let's copy paste this for the three other fields. So the second one is our profile image, so we can say profile image, and the ID for this is user profile image. Then we have two buttons. The first one is the accept button and the second one is the cancel button, and the accept button ID is request accept button, and for the cancel button we have cancel request cancel button. If I show you, then these are the IDs. Okay, so make sure to use the proper IDs. So we have access our this user display layout, okay, by using the status class. Now all we're gonna need is to add this parameter, and here we can say request view holder, and we can give it a name as adapter equals to new Firebase Recycler adapter, and alongside with it on bind view holder and on create view holder method is created. Make sure to put a semicolon here, and first of all inside this on create view holder we have to access our this view, which is basically our user display layout. Okay, so for that I'm going to remove this return null, and inside this method first we have to get our user display layout view. Okay, so I'm going to create a view, okay, and we can give it a name as view equals to layout inflator dot from, and by using this view group object here we view group dot get contacts, and after that we can say dot inflate. Now we are going to access our that layout dot user display layout, comma view group, comma false. make sure to put a semicolon here. Now we need to create an object of this request view holder class. So here I can simply say request view holder. Let's give it a name as holder equals new request view holder, and we need to pass this view to this class. We can return the holder now. So yeah, that's it. And now the next thing is we onBind view holder. So inside this onBind view holder, what we gonna do, first of all, let me tell you that the request view holder, which is our static class, it has an object by the name holder, and then we have the int position, and then the model class object is model. And now the most important thing is to pass the query, okay, which is our this query by the name option. So here you can see this error, okay, and here you can simply pass that options here, okay, which is basically our query. So inside this onBind view holder, first of all, as you know that these two buttons are invisible, okay, so we have to make it visible. So here we can say holder by using the holder object. We can say item view. Now as I told you, this holder is basically object of this request view holder. So we are accessing this class here, and this item view is the object here, okay, for this view. You can see this, okay, so that's why I write this item view dot find view by item or dot id dot, and the id for our accept button is request accept button dot set visibility to visible. And yeah, that's it. And now the same we will do for the other button, which is our cancel request button. So press that again and make sure to change this to the cancel, sorry, the id for that is request cancel button. So yeah, that's it. Now inside here we have to do some important steps. So till now I hope you understand everything. As you know that, first let me show you the database. We are basically accessing, we have created a query up to the chat request, and then we are accessing the current user ID. That is, let's say this user is now online, he is logged into his account. So you can see here we have inside the current user ID we have the requests, and these are all the users who send request to this person. So this is basically a list of user, as you can see, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So this user received 6 requests for now, okay. So we have to get the ID of each user line by line, and then once we get one user ID, then by using this ID we will retrieve the information of this user from the users node, okay. So let's do it and you will understand it more clearly then also. So to get the ID of each user line by line, first of all, for that we can create a string type variable, and you can give it any name you want, but let's give it a proper name as list user underscore ID equals to get ref, and we have to pass this position to it so that it can get the first ID, or you can say the first position where the first ID is present in the database. And now we have to get that key, so dot get key. So it will get the first key first of all, that is this one. And now once we get that key, we have to go inside this each ID and check the request type, okay. So as you know that a user can send chat request to other, and also the other user can send a chat request to this user. That is, as you know, the request type is sent and the other one is the received, okay. So sent and received. So in this on our request fragment, we are just retrieving the received request type, that is the request that we received from other users, okay. So what I'm going to do is, first we have to check the request type alongside with it. So for that, what I'm going to do is go to the Android Studio first, and here I can simply say, let's create a database reference for that, and we have to get the type reference. So we can call it as get type ref equals to get ref position, and it has a child, and the child is by the name request underscore type. So we have to give it a name, request underscore type dot get ref. So we need this because we are just retrieving the request here that let's say I'm an online user, so how many people and whom send me a chat request, or you can say the friend request basically. So that person want me to chat with them. Okay, so we will retrieve the received requests here on our request fragment. So now we can say get type ref dot add value event listener, new value event listener. Make sure to put a semicolon here, and inside this on data change method. So as you know, this is the reference. Now we have to get the value by using this data snapshot object. So we can say a string. First let's add the validation if the data snapshot exists. Then inside it we can say string type equal data snapshot dot get value dot to string. Now here we can check if type dot equals to received. It will be either received or sent. Okay, so the received is those requests which we received from other people. So we will just display the received request. Now once we know about the request type, then we are going to retrieve the data of the user from the user's node, okay, by using this list user ID, okay, which is basically this ID which we are already getting, that is this one. Okay, now for all these nodes, this is the parent node for all these requests. Okay, so this user received request from this user, let's say, okay, or let's say this user sent request to these users. Okay, so I hope you understand the whole concepts. So we need a UserRef. So here we can create a database reference which will be our users reference, and now here we can say UserRef equals to fire database get instance dot get ref dot child, and the child will be the users node. Okay, this is our users node. So here inside this if statement, once we check the received, if the type is received, then here we can use the user's query or user ref. We are going to retrieve the data of the user, of that specific user, new value event listener. As I told you, it will retrieve, first it will get this ID, then it will check the request type, and once it get the request type, then by using this ID we will retrieve all the information for this user from our users node. And then as I told you, it will check each data line by line. That is, first is this user, the second is this one. The same process it will repeat just like we as I told you for this user. Then it will check the second ID, and then it will check the request type. If it is received, then inside that we will get that ID, and by using this ID we will retrieve the information from the user's node. Okay, so here now the inside, first make sure to put a semicolon here, and now inside this on data change we can retrieve the data. So first we can add if statement, if data snapshot dot has child. Since you know that the image, the profile image is optional if a user want to set, so we have to add this validation. And the second one will be the else statement, where we can display the just if the user does not have a profile image set, then we will just display the username and user status. Okay, so here we can say final string, and we can give it a name as request username. That is the username of that person who sent us a request. Data snap dot child, and it is by name. This is the key value. Okay, so make sure to use the same keys which are inside the user's node. Okay, name, image, status, and UID. Dot get value dot to string. And now we will copy paste this for the other two. So paste that, and the second one is the request user status, and it is by the name status. And then we have the profile image of the user, so we can give it a name as request profile image, and it is by the name image in the database. So yeah, that's it. And now what we're gonna do, we have to display it. So for the username, by using this holder object, which is our object of the request view holder class. So here we can say holder and we are going to access our username field inside, which is inside this static class. Okay, you can see these are our fields, so we have to access these fields now by using the holder object of that class, which are here. Okay, so after that we can say .set text, and we have to pass the request username here. The same we will do for the status. So holder dot user status, and it is stored inside this request username. So you can say request user, so the request user status. Okay, and for the image we are using the Picasso library, as you know that, so we can display the image using Picasso dot get dot load, and the link is stored inside the request profile image variable, and we can display that into holder dot profile image field. So yeah, that's it. And if the profile image do not exist for the user, I mean if the user has not set the profile image, then for those user we just need to display the user status. So copy this, paste that here inside this else statement. Okay, and we need to display just username and status. So yeah, that's it. And now here we have our, here it ends, I mean our this Firebase Recycler adapter. So here we can just say, here we are going to set the adapter on our recycler view. So we can say my request list, which is the name of our recycler view dot set adapter, and the name of our Firebase Recycler adapter is adapter, and we have to start listening the adapter. So we can say adapter dot start listening. So yeah, that's it. And one thing which we forgot is to, as you know that this is the UserRef. Okay, so this will come down here to the UserRef, and now from here it should get the user ID. I mean we have to pass the list user ID to it also. So for that user we will display the data. So here we can say .child, and the user ID is stored inside this list user ID, and as I told you, it will it will repeat the process for all the user. That is, let's say if this user received 2 requests, then step by step it will get each request. So yeah, that's it. And now what we're gonna do, we have to test the app on 2 mobile phone devices. So let's do that. And now let's run the app on another device also. So you can see that the app is running now on both devices, and on this device I am logged in by my own account, which is Mohammed Ali. If I show you, then this is the ID of mine, which is UXA8. Okay, so you can notice that first, and I have received 2 requests. Okay, you can see this 2 requests I received. The request type is this, and if I go to the request fragment, then here you can see one is from Sarah and the other one is from Glenn Carter. Now we will check it further also for the other users. So you can see PZ and NX, and if I show you, then PZ and F. Okay, PZ, this one, this is Sarah, and the other one is the NX, so it is NX and it is Glenn Carter. Okay, so you can see that it is working fine. Now what I'm going to do is, from here I'm going to log in by using another account, which is the Jennifer account, so which is a user in our app. Okay, and if I show you first, then I'm talking about, I mean you can create any user you want of your own choice, and that user is this one. Okay, Jennifer Carter. So let's log in. So I am logged in now, and now what I am going to do is to send the request to Mohammed Ali. Okay, so from here I will go to the find friends, and here you can see Mohammed Ali has only 4 contacts: Rida Ford, Mohammed Ali, Sher, Sasha Glenn, and Gio Roberts, and 2 person wants to add with Mohammed Ali, which is Sarah and Glenn Carter. And now from here we will, now I mean this Jennifer will send a chat request to him. So let's say sent. Okay, and now if I go to the requests, then here you can see this Jennifer Carter. If I cancel that, then here you can see the node is, I mean the request is deleted. If I send again, here you can see that. I mean this is amazing, this is perfect. You can see that this is incredible. So yeah, that's it for this video, and in the next video what we will be doing is that whenever I send a chat request, I mean if Jennifer Aniston or any other you send a chat request to me, then it will be display here. So now we will work in the next video tutorial, and we will allow Muhammad Ali, that is me, to accept or cancel that request. And once the user accept that request, then the contact will be added here. Okay. So yeah, that's it for this video. And if anyone is new to our channel, then please subscribe our channel Coding Cafe. Thumbs up for this video, and take care of yourself, and bye for now.